Calling all my gentlemen across the world, the Bowtie Fragrance Guy has a fantastic list for you today. Let's talk about it. What's going on YouTube? I am the Bowtie Fragrance Guy, the fashion and fragrance channel. I talk to you about how you can look good and smell great every day. So if you are into being the best version of yourself, looking your best and smelling your best every day, subscribe to the channel and make sure you hit the bell icon as well. So that way, anytime I upload a new video, you will be one of the first people to get notified. So on today's video, I'm going to be jumping into one of these comprehensive lists that I like to do. This is going to be a list for 2023. These are 10 fragrances that I feel are 10 of the best. 10 out of 10 fragrances that I think is great for any guy to wear for 2023. Now, this is a little bit of an updated list because, of course, I still think, as I said last week, Aventus is one of the best fragrances on the planet. And that's a very great, versatile scent that I think most guys would probably like, or it will appeal to most guys. But there are some fragrances that are a little bit newer, a little bit fresher, a little more modern. And I want to talk about those kind of fragrances today. So all the fragrances you're going to see on this list today are what I would say are more mass appealing fragrances. I feel like these 10 fragrances, again, I give them 10 out of 10s. And I think that they would appeal to any guy. Guys, as much as I love Portrait of a Lady from Frederic Malle, I understand that that patchouli rose combination, that's a fragrance that may not be for everybody, maybe a little bit more an acquired taste, a little bit more artistic. So those aren't the kind of fragrances that I'm talking about. I'm talking about those easy to wear fragrances that appeal to the masses. And I got 10 of the best on the market today, and we're going to jump into it. So if you want to see what's on the list, you know the routine. Keep it locked right here. Let's get it.
The Bowtie Fragrance Guy.
All right, guys, we're back. Thank you so much for keeping it locked in. Let's go ahead and jump into the video. The first fragrance up, simply put, when you talk about mass appealing fragrances and you look at this genre, I think that this is one of the best fragrances on the planet. And this fragrance comes from the house of YSL. This is from their more exclusive collection, and this fragrance is called Trench. Now, I've talked about this fragrance here recently on several videos, and I've been talking about it for good reason. I love this fragrance. Sincerely, I love it. It has a lot of things in it that I really love, and one of those notes that I've really come to appreciate here over the last few months has been the note of fig. So in this fragrance, you're going to get tangerine, you're going to get fig, and you're going to get a beautiful combination of neroli and iris to give this almost double dose of powdery floral goodness in the heart of this fragrance, and close it out with a bit of musk and cedarwood. Easy to wear. That's the theme of the list today. Like I said, these fragrances are going to appeal to most guys out there. And these are 10 of 10, 10 out of 10, best in class in this category. So sincerely, guys, I keep telling you, you know I won't steer you wrong. Check this fragrance out. It is from the house of YSL, and this one is called Trench. All right, guys, now the next fragrance up on this list is another fragrance whose praises I have been singing. And this fragrance comes from the house of Electimus, and this one is called Vixir. This is called Vixir. Now, this particular fragrance, if you don't remember, is a fragrance that closely resembles Valiant from the house of Bodicea Victorious. Now, Valiant is going to run you about $1,200. I know for a lot of you, that's completely out of the question to spend that amount of money on a fragrance. So here is the remedy. Check out Vixir from the house of Electimus because this is very similar to Valiant. Beautiful. That's the best way to describe this fragrance. It is absolutely a beautiful fragrance. In the opening, you have this mandarin orange that you're going to get with orange blossom. I love the opening of the fragrance. And the heart of it really is about the florals. You're going to get the combination of ylang-ylang. I think there's gardenia, jasmine. There's some heliotrope in here as well. And on the dry down, it gets really creamy and really sweet with a combination of sandalwood, vanilla, and tonka bean. Absolute dynamite fragrance. Again, these fragrances, I don't really feel any kind of way about recommending these fragrances to anybody because I think most people, if you want to smell good, are going to like these recommendations. So check this one out again. This one is from the house of Electimus and it's called Vixir. All right, now the next fragrance up on the list actually comes from the House of Creed, and this is Aventus Cologne. Aventus Cologne, yep. Of course, we know about the original, 2010. This one came out, I want to say around 2019, if I'm not mistaken. And man, listen, it is a great substitute for the original. I still get a lot of the elements from the original, which I love that because I love that fragrance so much. But you want to talk about a versatile fragrance? This is the king of versatility. I'm talking about anytime, any place, anywhere, any season, any reason, this thing is going to work. And I'm not even going to talk about the compliment factor because it is definitely one of the best in class. So listen, this, to describe it easiest, is it's a lighter interpretation of the original. A lighter, more modern interpretation of the original, and this thing works. So check it out. From the House of Creed, this is Aventus Cologne. All right, now the next fragrance up on the list, man, listen, guys, if you don't hear anything else I say on this video, please understand you need to check this next fragrance out. It is from the exclusive line of Chanel, and this one is called 1957. 1957, my God, is this thing good. Listen, clean, fresh. White musk is the main note in this fragrance, which is really give this really clean, masculine feel to this fragrance. Of course, I'm going to pair that with some aldehydes here as the other primary note. So this fragrance is really clean and in its own way, really masculine and fresh. So white musk, you get some aldehydes in here as well. And when it dries down, guys, you get a little bit of cedarwood, vanilla, and honey. Check this one out, guys. I could go on and on. I could sing the praises of this fragrance all day. But understand that you need to check this fragrance out. If you're looking for something versatile, look no further than this fragrance from the House of Chanel. And once again, this one is called 1957. Now, the next fragrance up on the list, I love this one because it's really easy for me to explain to you guys and articulate what this smells like. It comes from the House of Juice Box, and this again is called Cheeky Smile. This is called Cheeky Smile. And like I said, I've talked about this one a lot lately, so I won't spend as much time here, but Ambroxan, Molecule 01. So it's like you got that ISOE Super from the Molecule 01. So you got ISOE Super, you got the Ambroxan. It really smells like Molecule 01 mixed with Baccarat Rouge 540. Best way for me to describe it. And if you really think about it, that's a recipe for success. This thing is so easy to wear. It's so inoffensive, and it is so compelling. It's one of those fragrances that, you know, people, when you walk by them, it's like it gets their attention. It smells familiar, but it smells a little bit different because you got those two fragrances kind of, you know, meshed together into one. Dynamite. Just check it out, fellas. It's from the House of Juice Box. Again, this is called Cheeky Smile. All right, guys. The next fragrance up on the list comes from the House of Mancera, and this is Cedrat Boisé Intense. Cedrat Boisé Intense. I don't remember what year the original was introduced to the market, but this one came out in 2021. So again, this is a more modern list. The original is still great, but if we're talking about 2023, I'm going to go with the intense iteration of that fragrance. It still has all the elements that I love from the original Cedrat Boisé, but they dirtied up the DNA a little bit by adding a little bit of oud. But you still get the beautiful citruses and blackcurrant in the opening. You're still going to get that infamous leather note in here that gives off that slightly smoky nuance to the fragrance. But again, they added a little bit of oud to the DNA, and it works. This will work for any guy. So check this fragrance out. It is from the House of Mancera, and this is called Cedrat Boisé Intense. All right, guys, the next fragrance up on the list is definitely no stranger to a category like this when you talk about easy to wear, mass appealing, a fragrance that most people love. It's the top seller in this particular brand. It's from the brand of Louis Vuitton, and this is Le Monstere. Le Monstere. You talk about a mass appealing, compliment getting fragrance. If easy to wear had a picture, this would probably be sitting next to it representing easy to wear. Listen, ginger, geranium, ambroxan, and ambrocord. That is the heart of what this fragrance is. And again, this is another one that when you start talking about a fragrance that I would just recommend to just about any guy on the planet, and I'm going to feel confident knowing when they go into the store and smell this, they're going to say, wow, Bowtie made a tremendous recommendation, because it's just really hard not to really like this fragrance. Not to mention the fact that the people around you more than likely will enjoy it as well. That has been my experience. So check it out. It is from the brand of Louis Vuitton. Again, this one is called Monstere. All right, guys, the next fragrance up on the list comes from the house of Parfums. And yep, I'm going to go ahead and put it on here. This is Elysium Eau Intense. The more time I spend with this fragrance, the more I love this fragrance. Again, the shell of the original Elysium is here. The shell is there. Again, as I talked about this last week, once you get to the heart of the fragrance, you're going to start to pick up a resemblance to the original. But there are some differences here, primarily that rhubarb and that lavender in the opening. Especially the lavender, give this more of a blue kind of, more of a fougere feel, if that makes sense. And then on the dry down, they really amplify that leather note here instead of some of the sweeter elements and more citrus elements of the original. But fantastic. Guys, anybody out here, most of you guys out here, I will say it that way, are probably going to smell this fragrance and say, wow, this really smells good, and would want to take a bottle home. So check it out. This is from the house of Parfums. This is the newest one. Again, we're updating the resume on this list 2023. This is Elysium Eau Intense. All right, the next fragrance up on the list. This one was released last year, I think, from the brand of Monstere Parfums. And of course, guys, I really, really enjoy this fragrance right here. This one is called Paragon. This is called Paragon. Listen, I'll tell you how much I love this fragrance. When I first got it, I wore it for like the first 4 days straight. And this was the only thing that I wore. I remember the missus kept saying, wow, you wearing the same thing again. But every time I smelled it, she noticed it. It really caught her attention. And it was no different when I wore this out. There's a little bit of a spicy smokiness to this fragrance, but the highlight of it is going to be that plum note. Plum, Palo Santo, sandalwood on the dry down. Amazing fragrance. Seriously, guys, plum is really making, in my humble opinion, strides in the fragrance industry. More people are starting to implement plum into their fragrance compositions, and it, to me, it's a note that I really, really love. So check this fragrance out again. This is just great. If you haven't smelled this yet, you got to get your nose on this one from Monstere Parfums. Again, this one is called Paragon. All right, guys, and last but not least, one of the fragrances I feel like I really put on the map. All right, and this fragrance comes from the house of Bond No. 9, Lafayette Street. Lafayette Street. This was released in 2018, and I feel like this is getting even more popular. And I really enjoy this one. Obviously, I've sung its praises for a long time. You got coriander in here. You got some bergamot. You have apple in this as well. You got some tonka bean on the dry down. This is a fantastic fragrance. Again, when you're talking about a fragrance, like I said earlier, that I feel very confident recommending this fragrance to people. And when they get their nose on it, they're going to be really, really pleased with what they smell. I love this fragrance. Again, it is one of my most complimented fragrances from the house of Bond No. 9, and it's just getting better in my humble opinion. So check this one out. It's from the house of Bond No. 9. This is Lafayette Street. But that's it, guys. That is my time, man. I hope you enjoyed this video today. Again, these are some fragrances that I would recommend. Perfect 10 out of 10 fragrances, modern fragrances for the year of 2023 to any guy. What do you guys think about the list? I would love to hear from you down in the comment section. Now, as always, I sincerely appreciate your time. I appreciate you guys' attention to these videos. I know you don't have to watch, but you do, and I sincerely appreciate that. Then don't forget to make sure you take a few moments to go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. And make sure you're sharing these videos out to some other folks out there that you think could use this information or find it entertaining. Because I'm your guy, Darren. I'm the bow tie fragrance guy. I love to look good, and of course, I love to smell amazing. So until next time, guys, keep looking good, keep smelling even better. I'll catch you on the flip side. Peace.